Hello, beautiful people. It was a Tuesday, or maybe a Wednesday. The days all blurred together back then. I was in my cubicle, staring at a spreadsheet, surrounded by the hum of fluorescent lights and the monotony of office life. Everyone around me seemed to be on autopilot, typing, clicking, sipping lukewarm coffee. We were busy, but what were we actually building? The question hit me. Was this the life I wanted? The corner office, the steady paycheck, the 2 weeks of vacation? It felt more like a cage than a dream. My breaking point wasn't dramatic, just a quiet realization that the path I was on led somewhere I didn't want to go. The security I clung to felt like a trap. I'd spent years climbing a ladder, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. The fear of staying became greater than the fear of leaving. I started saving, researching, and imagining a life where I was in control. Eventually, I handed in my notice. My boss was surprised. My colleagues were confused. I didn't have a concrete plan, just a deep desire for something different. I wanted to trade the illusion of security for the reality of freedom. Walking out of that office for the last time, I felt relief, not fear. I was stepping into the unknown, trading predictability for possibility. For the first time in a long time, I felt truly alive. The world tells us to go faster, do more, achieve more. I bought into that for years, measuring my worth by hours worked and titles earned. But I was running on empty, chasing a version of success that left me hollow. I craved a slower, more intentional life. It wasn't about laziness, it was about being present. I wanted to savor my morning coffee, think deeply, and trade the frantic rush for a gentle rhythm. True success, I realized, wasn't about how much I could accomplish, but how much meaning I could find in each moment. The 9-to-5 routine left little room for spontaneity or deep work. I wanted work to fit around my life, not the other way around. Redefining success meant letting go of society's expectations and creating my own. For me, it became about autonomy, well-being, and nurturing relationships. Instead of asking, how can I make more money? I started asking, how can I create a better life? That simple shift opened up a world of possibilities. Leaving the office didn't mean leaving work behind, it meant finding a new way to work. Remote work became my key to a different life. My office could be anywhere with Wi-Fi, a coffee shop, a co-working space, or my own living room. The ability to design my own workday was revolutionary. I could focus during my most productive hours and take breaks when I needed them. This autonomy made me more productive and less stressed. I was no longer a slave to the clock. Travel became intentional, slow, immersive, and meaningful. My work supported my life of exploration, not the other way around. Of course, it required discipline. I had to become my own manager and set boundaries, but the challenges were worth it for the freedom I gained. Remote work turned my laptop into a portal to the world. It gave me the flexibility to build a life that was truly my own. One day at a time, I was designing my future. As I stripped away unnecessary commitments, I started looking at my possessions differently. My apartment was filled with things I rarely used: clothes, gadgets, books. Each item was clutter, taking up space in my home and my mind. Adopting minimalism was a gradual process of letting go. I asked, does this add value to my life? Most things didn't. Decluttering was liberating, a weight lifted off my shoulders. With less to manage, I had more time and energy for what mattered. Minimalism extended to my digital life and commitments too. It became a tool for intentionality, forcing me to be mindful about what I allowed in. My home became a sanctuary, my schedule more open. By owning less, I felt richer. By doing less, I accomplished more. Minimalism wasn't about deprivation, it was about freedom. It was a crucial step in designing a more meaningful life. With more time and space, my creativity reawakened. I started writing, taking photos, and working on personal projects. These weren't just hobbies, they were essential to my well-being. My work became about creating things I was proud of, not just earning a living. Of course, the freedom was daunting at times. There was no clear roadmap. I faced self-doubt and fear, but I reminded myself why I started. I could never go back to that cubicle. I learned to embrace uncertainty and trust the process. I encourage you to ask what you really want from life, not what society tells you to want. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow. Start with small, intentional changes. Declutter a room, start a hobby, carve out time for yourself. The goal is to move closer to a life that feels authentic to you. A simpler, more intentional life isn't about having less, it's about making room for more joy, purpose, and freedom. At the end of the video, smash that like button, hit subscribe.